Your savings are now my luxury villa. Amanda's text lit up my phone screen at 3 a.m. Thanks for being such a trusting sister-in-law. The view from my new balcony is going to be amazing. I stared at the message, my hand steady as I held my phone. The soft glow of my laptop was the only light in my home office, where I'd been waiting for this exact moment. Another text buzzed through. Don't bother checking your accounts. I've already transferred everything. Sweet dreams. My name is Olivia Chen, and at 34, I just watched my sister-in-law attempt to steal what she thought was my entire life savings. I should have been panicking, crying, or at least angry. Instead, I felt an odd sense of calm as I opened my banking app. The account showed exactly what I expected. $800,000 transferred out at 2:47 a.m. to an account I didn't recognize. I took a screenshot, adding it to my growing file of evidence. Then I sent Amanda a simple reply. Thanks for letting me know. I could almost picture her face as she read my response, her smug smile faltering just slightly at my lack of distress. She'd been planning this for months, probably expecting hysterical phone calls or desperate pleas. Instead, she got 2 words and radio silence. What Amanda didn't know was that I'm a forensic accountant. I spend my days tracking financial fraud and helping clients protect their assets. More importantly, she had no idea that the account she'd just emptied was a carefully crafted trap, set up 6 months ago when I first noticed her unusual interest in my finances. It started with casual questions at family dinners. How do you manage your money, Olivia? She'd ask, eyes sharp despite her relaxed tone. It must be nice having such a cushion to fall back on. My brother Mark, ever oblivious to his wife's schemes, would just smile and nod along. Then came the accidental glimpses of my bank statements when she visited, the careful mentions of her dream villa in the Mediterranean, and the not-so-subtle hints about family helping family. I recognized the signs. I'd seen them countless times in my work. The gradual gathering of information, the careful grooming of their target, the search for vulnerabilities. So I prepared. The account Amanda just emptied was real enough to withstand basic scrutiny. But every transaction had been carefully documented and reported to the authorities in advance. Each withdrawal she made would trigger automatic alerts to both my lawyer and the bank's fraud department. I opened my laptop and checked my secure email. Right on schedule, there were 3 notifications. One from the bank confirming suspicious activity, one from my lawyer acknowledging the predicted transfer, and one from the fraud investigation team requesting confirmation to proceed. My phone buzzed again. This time it was Mark, my brother. Olivia, we need to talk. Amanda told me what she did. Please don't do anything rash. She's just trying to give us a better life. I felt a familiar ache in my chest. Mark had always been protective of me after our parents died, but his marriage to Amanda 3 years ago had changed him. He'd become increasingly distant, defensive, and willing to justify Amanda's behavior, no matter how outrageous. Nothing rash, I typed back. Get some sleep, Mark. We'll talk tomorrow. I thought about the real money, safely secured in accounts Amanda would never find. The $800,000 she'd stolen was substantial, but it was a calculated sacrifice, enough to trigger serious legal consequences, but not enough to actually damage my financial security. Another text from Amanda. Don't bother calling Mark. He supports me 100%. You've always had it too easy anyway. It's time someone else got to enjoy the good life. I added the text to my evidence file. Each message was another nail in the coffin she was building for herself. I'd learned long ago that sometimes the best strategy was to let people reveal their true nature on their own terms. The last piece of my trap was already in motion. Before setting up the decoy account, I'd met with the real estate agent Amanda had been working with. The agent, alarmed by some irregularities in Amanda's loan application, had been more than willing to cooperate with my investigation. The villa Amanda thought she was buying. The down payment would go through, but the transaction would immediately trigger a fraud alert. By attempting to purchase property with stolen funds, she wasn't just committing theft. She was engaging in international wire fraud. I poured myself a glass of water and watched the sunrise from my office window. In a few hours, Amanda would probably be celebrating her victory with expensive champagne, planning her new life in the Mediterranean sun. She had no idea she just walked into a trap that would cost her everything. My phone buzzed one final time. A photo from Amanda, her holding a glass of champagne. The contract for the villa clearly visible on the table in front of her. Au revoir, she wrote. Don't worry, I'll send you a postcard from my new villa. I smiled, saving the photo. In the background of her celebratory shot, I could clearly see the fraudulent wire transfer documentation. It was the final piece of evidence I needed. I sent one last text to my lawyer. She took the bait, everything proceeding as planned. Then I went to bed, sleeping soundly for the first time in months. Tomorrow would bring chaos, but for now I had the peace of knowing that sometimes the best revenge is simply being prepared. I woke up to 17 missed calls and 32 text messages. Amanda's celebratory tone from last night had shifted dramatically, replaced by increasingly frantic messages. What's wrong with the transfer? Why is the bank calling me? Answer your fate on me. You did something, didn't you? I took my time getting ready, brewing my favorite coffee and settling into my home office before responding to anyone. The bank's fraud department had already sent their morning update. Amanda's attempt to wire the money internationally had been flagged and frozen. Her dream villa was slipping through her fingers. Mark's messages were different, a mix of anger and desperation. How could you do this to us? Amanda's crying. She said you set her up. We're family, Olivia. Family helps family. I thought about my brother, about the way he changed since meeting Amanda 3 years ago. He'd gone from my protective older brother to someone who enabled his wife's worst impulses, all in the name of family. At exactly 9 a.m., I called my lawyer, Sarah Douglas. Good morning, she answered, sounding pleased. I assume you've seen the notifications. The bank's fraud department is building quite a case. What's our next step? I asked, taking notes as she outlined the proceedings. The bank had frozen not just the stolen funds, but all of Amanda's accounts. The international wire transfer attempt had triggered multiple fraud alerts, and her previous financial activities were now under scrutiny. She's been busy, Sarah noted. The bank found evidence of other suspicious transfers. Looks like you weren't her first target, just her biggest. That didn't surprise me. In my work as a forensic accountant, I learned that financial predators rarely started with big scores. They built up to them, testing boundaries and perfecting their techniques. My doorbell rang at 10:30 a.m. Through the security camera, I saw Amanda standing there, makeup perfect but her designer outfit slightly disheveled. Mark hovered behind her, looking uncomfortable. I opened the door but blocked the entrance. Yes. How dare you? Amanda hissed, trying to push past me. You ruined everything. The bank froze all our accounts. The villa seller is threatening legal action. This is all your fault. I stayed calm, remembering the security cameras recording every moment. My fault. You tried to steal my savings, Amanda. Did you really think I wouldn't notice? Notice? You trapped me. She was practically screaming now. You set up that account on purpose. You wanted this to happen. Amanda, I said quietly, you just admitted to stealing my money. On camera, would you like to confess to anything else while you're here? She stepped back, finally noticing the security cameras. Mark put his hand on her shoulder, trying to pull her away. Olivia, please, he pleaded. We can work this out. Just tell the bank it was a misunderstanding. I looked at my brother, really looked at him. The confident, protective older brother I'd grown up with was gone, replaced by someone who would rather enable theft than face an uncomfortable truth. It's not that simple, I explained. The bank's fraud department is involved now. They found other suspicious transfers in Amanda's history. This goes beyond just me. Amanda's face went pale. You're lying. They can't look at my other accounts. They can when you attempt international wire fraud. Every transaction you've made in the last 7 years is being reviewed. Mark's hand dropped from Amanda's shoulder. Other accounts? Amanda, what is she talking about? But Amanda was already backing away, her carefully constructed world crumbling around her. This isn't fair. You had all that money just sitting there, and I needed it more than you did. The villa was supposed to be our fresh start. A fresh start built on stolen money? I shook my head. The police will be contacting you soon. I suggest you get a lawyer. As they left, I heard Amanda starting to cry, telling Mark none of this was her fault, that I was just jealous of their happiness. But I could see doubt creeping into my brother's expression for the first time. Inside, I found more messages waiting. The bank wanted to schedule a formal interview. The fraud department had uncovered transfers from at least 3 other victims. Sarah had already started preparing documentation for a civil suit. I sat down at my desk, pulling up the file I'd been building for months. Every suspicious question Amanda had asked about my finances, every accidental glimpse of my bank statements, every conversation about her dreams of Mediterranean luxury. It was all documented, painting a clear picture of premeditation. My phone buzzed with a text from Mark. The bank called. They're saying Amanda stole from other people too. Tell me you didn't know about this. I suspected, I replied honestly. That's why I was prepared. I don't know what to believe anymore, he wrote back. She's locked herself in our bedroom, calling everyone we know for loans. She keeps saying you tricked her, but did I miss something? Was I blind? My heart ached for him. Come over tomorrow, I suggested. We need to talk. Just us. That evening, I received an email from the villa's real estate agent. Amanda's wire transfer had been rejected, and they were filing their own fraud report. Her dream of Mediterranean luxury had officially died. More messages poured in as word spread. Other victims of Amanda's financial manipulation started coming forward, sharing similar stories. She'd taken advantage of family connections, used emotional manipulation, and always played the victim when confronted. I thought about the moment 6 months ago when I first suspected Amanda was targeting me. I could have confronted her then, could have warned her off, or exposed her schemes immediately. But years of working in forensic accounting had taught me that people like Amanda never stopped until they faced real consequences. By setting my trap and letting her walk into it, I hadn't just protected myself. I created an opportunity for all her victims to find justice. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is let someone face the results of their own actions. As night fell, I sat in my quiet house, looking through old family photos. There was Mark at my college graduation, beaming with pride. Us at our parents' last anniversary party. Holidays, birthdays, countless moments before Amanda entered our lives and twisted everything. I miss you, I texted Mark. The real you. Minutes passed before his response. I miss me too. The next 3 months unfolded like a carefully orchestrated symphony, each revelation adding to Amanda's downfall. The bank's investigation uncovered a pattern of financial manipulation spanning 5 years. Beyond the 3 victims we initially knew about, 4 more came forward with similar stories. Mark showed up at my door one rainy evening, looking older than I'd ever seen him. The police interviewed me today, he said, slumping onto my couch. They showed me everything. All the transfers, the manipulation, the lies. How did I not see it? I handed him a cup of coffee and sat beside him. She was good at what she did. That's why she got away with it for so long. Did you know, he said, staring into his cup, she was planning to leave me once she had the villa? The police found emails to some guy in Greece. She was going to take the money and just disappear. I hadn't known that detail, but it didn't surprise me. Amanda had always seen Mark as a means to an end, a stepping stone to the luxury lifestyle she craved. The criminal charges came down like hammer blows. Multiple counts of fraud, attempted wire fraud, identity theft, and financial exploitation. Amanda's lawyer pushed for a plea deal, but the evidence was too overwhelming. My careful documentation, combined with the bank's investigation, had created an airtight case. 7 years, Mark told me after the sentencing, plus restitution to all the victims. He'd filed for divorce the week before, finally accepting that the woman he'd married was a carefully crafted illusion. My $800,000 was returned, though I'd never actually been at risk. The real satisfaction came from helping Amanda's other victims recover their losses. My testimony as a forensic accountant, combined with the evidence I gathered, ensured they all received restitution. Late one night, I received a letter from Amanda, sent from prison. You think you're so clever, setting me up like that. But you ruined everything. I had dreams, plans. That villa was supposed to be my fresh start. I hope you're happy with yourself, sitting in your perfect little house with your perfect little life. You'll always be alone. I filed the letter with the others, evidence of her unrepentant nature. She still didn't understand that this wasn't about cleverness or winning. It was about justice, about protecting people from predators who saw family ties as weapons to exploit. Mark started therapy, working through the trauma of Amanda's betrayal. Slowly, I saw glimpses of my old brother returning. We began having weekly dinners together, rebuilding the bond that Amanda had nearly destroyed. You know what's funny? He said during one of these dinners, when Amanda first told me she'd taken your money, she was so proud of herself. She kept saying how she'd finally won, how she'd beaten a smart sister-in-law at her own game. I smiled, remembering her smug texts. She never realized the game was already over before she started playing. 6 months after Amanda's sentencing, I received an unexpected email from one of her victims. She'd started a support group for survivors of financial exploitation, and they wanted me to speak about fraud prevention. Standing in front of those people, sharing the knowledge that had protected me and ultimately helped catch Amanda, I felt like something good had finally come from all this. Mark found me after the presentation. "That was amazing," he said, hugging me tightly. "Mom and Dad would be so proud of you." I hugged him back, feeling the strength of our restored bond. Amanda had tried to steal more than money. She tried to steal my relationship with my brother. In the end, she'd lost everything while we'd grown stronger. The $800,000 trap I'd set wasn't just about catching a thief. It was about showing that sometimes the best defense is being prepared, that knowledge and patience are more powerful than greed and manipulation. Amanda never understood that true wealth isn't just about money in an account. It's about integrity, family, and justice. My security cameras caught the last time Amanda's expensive car pulled away from my house. Sometimes I watch that footage and think about how confident she was, how certain of her victory. She never realized she wasn't the predator in this story. She was the prey, caught in a trap of her own making.